if you are looking to reduce pain of contractions, get out of the hospital bed. Hey there guys, today I want to let you in on a little secret about the hospital bed. And that is that it can be a real enemy of labor. Now, this probably comes as a surprise because if you've been on a hospital tour or when you check in to give birth, you will notice that the hospital bed is featured prominently in our labor and delivery rooms in the US and Canada also. It's almost like it's the star of the show. Certainly when we see pictures and watch movies about birth taking place, it usually takes place in a hospital bed. But that's not how it is in all countries. In Germany and the Netherlands, sometimes we'll see the hospital beds pushed up against the wall, or maybe they are down the hall, and if they're needed, they're brought in. Hospital bed doesn't have to be a key player in labor, and I'd love to share with you a couple ideas that help you prevent the hospital bed from being an enemy in your labor. Now, if we haven't met in real life, my name is Alice Turner. I am a birth doula. I'm a Lamaze certified childbirth educator, and on my channel, I like to make videos about birth with simple tips and information to help you have a positive birth experience. And a couple factors that play into a positive birth experience is when labor progresses and when labor pain is decreased. So hospital beds have a huge impact on both of those. The first one we'll tackle is pain, because you know, when people think about birth, pain is often one of their biggest concerns. This might sound weird, and I need you to trust me. I have worked with over 300 families in person during their births, and I've seen this time and again. And this is that when you are lying down in a hospital bed, or even kind of sitting up, semi-reclined in a hospital bed, and you experience contractions, they are often more painful than you would feel them if you were standing up or sitting on a birth ball or walking around. Yeah, contractions often hurt more when you are in the hospital bed. And you probably noticed this at home too, if you were laboring at home and laying in your own bed and experiencing contractions, and then you stand up and have a contraction. You might say, oh, these aren't as bad anymore. I hear this all of the time. So if you are looking to reduce pain of contractions, get out of the hospital bed. My number one tip for labor when it comes to the hospital bed is, if you can stay out of it, stay out of the bed. Staying out of the bed has so many benefits. First of all, it reduces pain, but also it promotes movement when you're out of the bed. So when you're in the bed, you're kind of back and forth, maybe sitting up, sitting down. That's okay. But when you're outside of the bed, you're more likely to move, and labor loves movement. Moving around, changing that pelvis, helping the baby move through the pelvis, it's all good for helping labor progress, and it's good for reducing pain. Because often if we can change our position, we can help reduce pain. So what I want you to do is, when you see that hospital bed, think about, how can you get out of it? Guys, here's the thing about the hospital bed is that you are often not told when you're able to get out of it, even though you are usually able to get out of the bed. So it's kind of a weird thing with labor. You know, you have so many options that you don't know about. And so if you ask your nurse, hey, can I get out of the bed? They will almost always say yes. That is, unless you have an epidural or like IV narcotics or something like that. Other than that, you can get out. But here is the thing. They don't usually suggest that you get out. So you have to take the power in your own hands, and you have to get out of the enemy. Leave the enemy behind, at least while you are able to. And move around, change positions. You have to take control of your labor. So birthing person, supporting person, work together. When you see that hospital bed, when you walk into your room, think to yourself, I'm not going to be trapped in that bed. Hear my voice go through your head when you see that bed. Don't be trapped in the bed. I don't know how many times I've heard the story. I hated that hospital bed. I wish I could have gotten out. And I'll ask the question, oh no, was something wrong? Did you have a medical condition, like a blood pressure issue or something that kept you in the bed? And they'll say, no, no one ever told me I could get out. This makes me crazy. So you do have the ability to get out. Now, say you are someone who is looking to get an epidural pretty shortly after you get to the hospital. Well, epidurals can take about an hour from requesting to getting them, sometimes even more. So during that time waiting for an epidural, it's a great time to get out of the bed and change around and move before you will be in the bed for the duration of your labor. Okay, so there are times when the hospital bed is very helpful. If you have an epidural, sure, very helpful to have a bed. Also, when you want to do a few different positions that require you to be on your knees. So like on your knees, leaning over a birth ball, or on your knees, leaning over the back of the bed, or on hands and knees, that's great to do on the bed. So we can use it in that way. Actually, there are tons of buttons on the bed, so test them out when you're not in the bed. See what different ways you can move the bed around. You are not being a bad patient to move your own hospital bed and change the positions of it. That is what it's there for. Use it. So be friends with the hospital bed when you need to, but stay out of it if you can. So when you're not in the hospital bed, one of my favorite things to do is suggest a birth ball. And some easy ways to use the birth ball are in this video here. I really highly suggest that you check that one out next, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.